Hello, everyone. Hope all of you had a fantastic weekend, or some of you already have it during the weekend now, right? It's a Saturday in some part of the world, so all part of the world. So today we have another very informative session talking about your online entity. Okay, so I believe all of you are here to settle down, and today I want you to take another device with you. We'll have some live search we'll be doing today. Okay, so few of the things we will do. Live, we'll search and understand about it instead of postponing to another day with mentors. Of course, tomorrow you can, next day, as usual, you can do that practical along with a mentor. But today, I would like to do something. You experiment something live while we are talking itself. Okay. Yeah. With this. I believe all of you are doing well. I think so, health-wise, and your family, everybody is safe. I think we are getting more and more good news from various parts of the world. But I'm also worried that some part of the world is doing worse. I believe all of you are safe and taking care. Okay, so today, why I would recommend you to have another device is I wanted to do something to you to experience on a live part, and then you can. We can actually, then and there itself with the clarification, you'll get it how it will work on that. Okay, so thank you so much, all of you, once again coming in time. So I'll take you to the PowerPoint as usual. Okay, and I'll have some notes in the PowerPoint today. I did not delete it. I kept it there because if I delete them tomorrow, you have to go and search on online instead. Different slide, I kept it there, so I'll be skipping that because you can read that, but I'll be talking about it. I can do that later. Okay, so yeah, we'll start with, okay, we'll start with today's topic called your online entity. Okay, so what exactly what I meant to say an online entity? We all of us have something, our asset or something about ourselves is there online, right? So his maybe your website, your domain name, your blog, your social media profiles, and maybe a forum, maybe some posts, some pictures of yours. Something is there in your presence. Now your reflection or your ownership, your asset is there already on a website, right? So now maybe it can be a simple social media profiles, maybe a website, maybe a blog. So different things. Okay, so that exactly we are going to talk about today, and then we discuss about the business aspect as well. And also I'll give you one of the good business idea today. Without capital, how you can start a business, a legitimate, a large scale business. How you can start, without hardly $10-20. How you can start that. I'll be discussing with you today. Okay, now. When you think about an online entity, so what are the online entity you can think about? Then surrounding, or you already have it. For example, I think most of you have your profiles there online, your social media account is there online, your Facebook page is there online, your LinkedIn profile is online, your YouTube channel or maybe your own videos online. So there are a few things, all of you have it. Some of you may be having your own website, some of you have an e-commerce website, some of you have maybe a transaction-based website, corporate website, maybe a business you are doing already. And I think majority of you also will have a blog, some or other way, created a blog and doing it is. And few of you may be having something called landing page, those who doing especially the online businesses, those who professionally do marketing activities, you are doing a campaign, definitely you'll have a beautiful landing page, yes or no? Then we also have forums, various kinds of a forum you can have, and you are participating in the various forums. You can have that as well. Then various kind of articles. You publish something, you read something, you written something, or maybe you bought a private label and kept it for your SEO purpose. And like various other things you may put on there, right? Now, we are going to talk about specifically about domain name. So before we jump in that, before starting with the domain name, I just wanted to make sure that all of you understood what I meant this online entity. You own a property, you own something, in any of the forms you are putting on a website. Okay, so this is a kind of an, so this entity can generate revenue, can entity make branding, can generate leads. This also help you to improve traffic to your website, or maybe just you're saving something, like you're keeping like your file, you're treating as a cloud, you're keeping as a shelf, you're a locker, you're keeping that. Maybe some of you also have another asset like a cryptocurrency. Some of you have a Bitcoin, some of you have a Ethereum, or different kinds of crypto you kept on doing. Some of you also maybe have bought various other online assets or digital assets. So today we are online entity. We are also covering few of the investment activities. So on Thursday when we closed down, when we had the last week when we were closing down, we discussed about how the professional opportunity, how the job opportunity. Thank you so much if most of you applied to become a consultant trainer, event manager with us. I'll be talking to you tomorrow at 2 p.m. of Arabian Standard Time on Zoom. I think those who submitted the form tomorrow will get an invitation. So you can, we'll discuss about in detail about that. Today we'll be talking about little more detail about asset, different kind of asset we'll start talking about. We have a various asset to discuss in future, but today about related to domain and website, we'll be talking about how you treat as an asset, and we go for little from the beginning. I'm from the every day I'm getting a feedback is like you're so fast. So I'm going slightly slow today. Don't worry, I might have promised myself I to go slow. Number two, this today I'm going the fundamental reason is people should know about the basic. If you're an entrepreneur, there are a few things you should know. You cannot depend on a technical people or the company you're outsourced to, or the professionals you're associated with, because the entity, the documents on the ownership of your online business has to be with you. And you cannot depend on that one. So you need to have that one. So that's the reason some of the detail and fundamentals about how things works we'll discuss today. Okay. So what exactly a domain name? So that's the first week we are going to discuss about. I think most of you know, but I'm just covering because the feedback which I got a couple of days ago for various topic, I'm jumping over because I put on a point. Then if at all anyone don't know, you can go and search it online. That was the purpose. But the feedback is I'm fast. Okay. Secondly, people want to know more about that as well. So I'm thought of covering that is today. Like this, especially this is an online entity as your asset and your property are very important for you to have this one. So before we go and understand about domain name, okay, what is exactly domain name? So that we discussed before that, technically or fundamentally, in principle, all of you understand what exactly domain name. So think about what is exactly a name. So what is exactly a name? I have a name, you have a name. Everybody is now in this world is identified with a name. Now, what exactly the name means according to you? So what exactly the name? Okay, think about what is a name. So we identify someone. That's a reason we know that's one of the best method. We're using it because of law. Everything has a name. Not only humans, the things around has a name, places has a name, country has a name, organization has a name. Everything has a name. So I just wanted to take one moment of view here to announce of this subject. Think about the idea of a name. The idea of a name is an amazing discovery. Yes or no? So think about we have a lot of discoveries and inventions across the centuries, maybe since 20,000 years onwards, we started doing a lot of discoveries and inventions. Even now in the 21st century, if you look back and say, which are the best inventions and discoveries happen in human history to change the world? So some people say invention of the wheel, a fantastic invention, because because humans started traveling, so change the world. Like that, a lot of impact is there, various inventions and discoveries. So, but if you list out the top 1,000, maybe 10,000 discoveries who impacted the human civilization, human being in this progress in this world, according to me, the two things will be on the top. According to me, this is my humble opinion. You may differ. The first one is, according to me, the idea of a name. So if the person who came out with the idea of a name is an amazing, I don't know which scientist who brought it, right? There are different stories about it. So the idea of a name is an amazing idea, right? Someone thought about this one, right? So we'll identify everyone with a name. So there is a time, there was no name in the world, right? But when you look at how the world started, people identified with a name. So no one had a name. So someone thought about it, we'll identify him not with the numbers or not, numbers was not there, right? So initial stage, think about this idea about name. Second invention, according to me, the idea of writing. and people were talking right earlier, communicating with the different languages. Of course, the language also another amazing discovery, right? Amazing invention. So the language came out from the human being. So I'm talking to you, and you're listening, and you are understanding what I'm trying to communicate because of the language. In English language, we are communicating. I have millions of languages across the globe. There are languages was there is a history. Now it's not there. There are new languages coming up, and mixture of languages coming up. Some languages, even our time, some languages died. We know, right? In our lifetime, we've seen languages died. Some languages become more important. Sometimes some language become language of science. Sometimes language of politics. So language is also an amazing thing. So name, writing, and language. So writing is a concept. It's an amazing discovery, someone or invention. So someone thought about writing and communicating to with the letters of the staff. So if you go and search in Google, these are a couple of things. Google will not give you a satisfactory answer. They tell you it happened in Mesopotamia, it happened in it's an Egyptian civilization or a Sumeria. These are the answers they give you, but they don't tell you which one. We know who invented radio. We know who invented television. We know who's invented or so many things. But such a significant thing who invented, we don't know. The scientist. Now, if that fellow who lives in this time, what would have been done? Think about the idea came out. That person is amazing, right? So think about how he would have changed the world now. Anyway, so this is the first thing I want you to think about it. Now you come to the domain name, because now you have to name it your business, and right, you have to be in another world. I'm talking about the physical world, the world we live in. That's an example. I sort of name and discover the writing. These two things. Now, I would like you to do not research now, that you can do later. I would like you to research on who brought the idea of a name. You do. I did research so much of them. I could not get a satisfactory answer. Who brought the idea of a name? You do a Google search on who invented writing, and how the language derived. That's language derived. There's a scientific explanation talking about. But the Michael Moore, the documentary maker, he got a theory. I really like it. I think you would like to have a look at how you will understand how the human being think about it. So all the languages connecting to one language. So that's a beautiful thing. Every language is connected to one language. So this is the way human in the physical world, name, language, writing, converted to the world's progress like this. Now, we are going to be a physical world to the digital world. When you go to digital world has a different name. Digital side of digitally written, digitally communication happens. And everything we identified with the. So here, the name part. So here is what it is. So when you're going on online, you have something called domain name. So you know the domain name examples. So google.com. Okay, and ADM.QA or Microsoft.com, Amazon.com, Facebook.com, YouTube.com, all these things are a domain name. So the human being understand domain name, which is named like a Google.com. Do you think computers understand that? Actually they know. They understand the numbers, but we don't understand humanly. There's actually humanly not possible to read as the computer to connect, because every device has a connection, every website, every device, every server, everything has actually identified in a computers now. It is basically with numbers, but humanly is not readable form. It's not easily identified because we come from the physical world. So we don't understand that kind of a name, because we got the idea of our ancestors calling them names. So they put these numbers, they change to names. So that's called a domain name. So this basically machine to machine, website or any or your online entity communicate each other and they identifying the number. If there is a number, right? Your phone has not your telephone number given by the provider. I'm talking about your device has a number. You have this has a number. Like everything has a number, which is converted to domain name. So this way we identify everything. So tomorrow when we make a website, we make a forum, we make a landing page, we make a funnel, everything will be identified with a name. Yes or no? So this is what we are going to discuss today. So why do we need a domain? Hundreds of reasons are there. Because you need to mandatory to have a domain, but actually on a business point of view, it's a unique identity. You have it, no one else has it. Now Google.com, one company has it, no one has it. Now you have a Facebook.com, only Facebook company owned, right? So you have a very unique URL, unique identification for you on internet space. Billions of entities are there. Billions and billions of entities is coming on a daily basis. In fact, trillions of entities are there. So in the trillions of entity, your entity may be 10 or 20, 30, 40, depends upon you. You have 4 or 5 profiles, you have websites, you have a blog, altogether around 10, 20 entities. So maybe some of you will have 1, some of you will have 200, 300 entities, depends upon what kind of a business you are in. So this, this domain name become very important to people identify us. In the physical world, we have a name, and which is again a unique, but lot of difficulty to identify. So when I say I'm a Shant, so there are so many, search in Google, I got around 91 million pages about Shant. So that many, 91 into 10. So 91 into 10, 91 million into 10. Think about how many names are there. So, but then to make it unique, many other things to be attached to us. But here online, 4 letters, 2 letters, 3 letters, it's become unique, right? So this what is exactly we are talking about here is the importance of the domain name. And it's also protect your brand, and you need to protect your brand. And strategy aspect we'll discuss about today, about the domain name. Why do we need it? So now we are talking about domain. So you should know the first domain is actually, this is 1985. And on March 15th, it started. Okay, this is the first domain is registered online. So this, that's the way history started, but you can see billions of domains are there in the market now, right? Now, now first question, I just want to ask you a couple of things here. Who will give the domain to us? To whom we need to approach for a domain name? And now, who is the owner of internet? That's beyond this one of the way. 10 years ago, when I do workshop, to understand the audience level, I used to ask this question to them because we don't know. So when I go and do workshops in various cities and countries, we think we don't know what kind of an audiences come, right? So what kind of a knowledge they have, what kind of information they have. And am I talking to techies? Am I talking to technopreneurs? I'm talking just as entrepreneurs looking for a knowledge. So this is a question I used to ask. Who is the owner of the internet? And who will give the domain name? Who will give the domain name? So these are my opening statements. Many this is now outdated, but still I ask you, who control the internet? So usually I used to get a lot of good answers. Sometimes the crowd, the real icebreak happens because many people never thought about it. Who controls the internet? Who is the owner of the internet? Which company owns the internet? So I'd like to spend some time with you. You also think about it, and you ask me, you may be knowing, you are reading an article or you studied about this professionally, maybe knowing, but many other people around us, they'll tell you, that's the time they start thinking, that's right, who is the owner of the company? Okay, Google owns, some people think that. Some people, no, Vodafone, they're giving an internet connection to us. And no, it's an American company. I think America control it because it's invented in America, so they control it. Or the government of every country. Or maybe some country, with those providing the cable. Like different answers, different people assume it and say to us. It was a very funny exercise. I enjoyed that 10 years of approximately, around 2004 to 2014. This was my opening. Then I changed to entrepreneurship indirectly. So now today, again, all of you think about these questions. So who control it? Who is the owner? And how it works, all the things. So now, those who are familiar with this, I just spend some time because one of the complaints I received it last 10 days is I'm so fast, I'm not covering some of the basics. So these are basics. Now, who control it is and who's the owner and all the things that you please think about. First of all, internet is an amazing discovery. It's you think about so few computers connected in called ARPANET. Then it's communicated intranet, internet. It's an amazing thing. So computers from your computer, my computer connected, and we communicate each other. So this your phone can be connected, your desktop computers, your tablet can be connected. So we can connect each other, and the moment we connect each other, then it's also interact and transact and communicate and exchange the data. So this is happening now across the globe. Now, how it does work? So just think about it a few minutes. Because today you have an entity, you have a business point of view, investing money. Now you're investing money to start your business. And who actually control that? Who can say no or yes to you? Who will remove you? Who will add you, evaluate you? So think about it. So your hard-earned money, you're going to start an online business. So important for you to understand how it works on it. Now, these are the many answers people say. So that is Google control. That's a common people say. As you know, Google is not controlling anything. Google is just like another entrepreneur to us, another corporate, a profit-making company. It's a publicly owned company, and they have a larger search engine. Many of the segment, they are not the best, and they don't have a control on many things. Then many people think about ISPs, like internet service provider. But I get internet from Vodafone or Orido, or maybe whichever the service provider in your city or a country. They only provide you internet connectivity to access the internet and data. So that's only they're doing, and that's it. Now, what else? In government, some people say US government actually so far, no, thank God. Think about it, they would have controlled the internet, the world would have been different, right? So they're not doing it. They cannot control anything. The government has only less control to the ISPs, internet service providers. They say you block a couple of websites. This post you removed by Facebook, you will ask them. So a few things they can do, but they cannot remove. But best example is now the Wikipedia. Sorry, not Wikipedia, WikiLeaks. When they leaked a lot of secrets of government, US government has in trouble. So US government started threatening them and say, you take it out. And they tried their level best to take down the Wikipedia. They could not. One day they forcefully denounced all the server they could disconnect, because many of the server they disconnected the server providing providers and also they did it. But the WikiLeaks professionals is prepared for this. The next day, so many other servers were working from different part of the world through the bunkers, and US could not do. Even WikiLeaks still works. Only thing they could disconnect the payment gateway, okay, because of MasterCard and the bank they told you don't accept. That's exactly the reason. And next month we'll discuss about why we should not depend on a bank. We should do a transaction. You and me, we don't want government, we don't want bank. We'll discuss about the blockchain part that's about. So okay, now you come back here. So it's a government has not much control. So it is the beautiful things as a kind of a gift. We lived with the internet. Think about 50 years ago, we never seen internet, right? 40 years ago. We never had, even the prince, the richest person never had this kind of opportunity. What we have is amazing blessing, and which has very, very less control. I'm not saying no control, because ISP block some of the website. I think you can use a VPN. You can also use your IP address and change, and you can access internet. And but majority of the part is nobody controlled. Government has no control. So then who will do this one? Okay, there is an organization called ICANN. So Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. This is the organization control. They are a non-profitable organization based in Los Angeles. So they are the authority who decide who get a domain name, what the protocol to be used. So this is what exactly I can do. Okay, I can. So Internet Corporation of Assigned Names and Numbers, white names and numbers. Numbers is essentially human being cannot read, so numbers they consider, and names is also they decide who to on Google.com, who can register Facebook.com, and who can register your own brand, someone else registered, and who can get that one. All the thing is designed by ICANN. So ICANN is the organization is an authority in this one. So I would like you to go to Google and understand more about ICANN. And so I kept some notes, as I mentioned. If you don't Google it, I just put some notes, which is I referred and understood earlier. So I kept it there. So you can read tomorrow when you download and read this one. Okay. Now we talk about a few things about ICANN. There's a .com. There's a different kind of domains, right? So like a .com is the most popular. The last portion of the domain, .com, okay, that's just got TLD. That can be .in, .qa, .pk, not .net, .org, .biz, so many things. We have 3,000 plus TLDs now. So we can actually register these domains that way. So there's a country-based domain name, industry-based domain name, geographical-based domain name. All the things actually, I kept as a notes. Please go and read. And tomorrow understand more about how it works on it. But now we are more into business point of view we're going to discuss. Now, this is what is exactly I would like to discuss with you today. And I have a good business idea based on this one without any capital. You can actually start this one. So one is called ICANN. So under the ICANN, there is something called registry. Under registry, there is something called registrar, then reseller, and registrant. So this is a business model of the entire domain name, how it works across the globe. Now, based on this, I'll share with you business idea a bit later once you understood about the domain aspects of it. Okay. Now, what is the registry and registrar reseller sale? Now we go from the bottom. When you register a domain, you become a registrant. You register. So usually you register maybe somebody like a reseller, like maybe maybe someone like a GoDaddy. Sometimes they are also a registrar who get the entire domain availability to the people. Then registry is a person taken a permission from ICANN to do domains. So for example, registry, go to the ICANN and say, hey, I want to introduce a TLD called .com. So VeriSign as a company went and registered this. They are around 60 to 70% of the all domains is belongs to .com. So .com. So every year a registrant pay the money through reseller and registrar and register it. And the registry share a small amount of that domain name amount you pay to the ICANN. Okay. So now registering a .com is approximately around $14, $12 to $14 is the price. That's a $12 average price you take it. So this $12, $10 example with a registry. Then $2 or 1.2 is the exact amount for a one domain to go to ICANN. $1.2 goes to ICANN. So rest of the money, actually $10, 1.2 is the rest of the money is a registrar and a reseller actually make a margin. So the registrar, that's the way the industry works. Okay, so I'll come back to you to how you become a registrar like a GoDaddy. There's an opportunity I'll be discussing with an amazing opportunity I'll be discussing with you after we finish the fundamental aspect of this one. I believe you understood. If you can understand, this is great. This is a model. This is a way we get a domain across the globe. So most important thing is the moment you start an online business, when you register a domain name, you are a registrant and you have to register in your name. So there is a wrong practice. I can't say it's not a best practice. Most of the people you have a website, you give an order to some web designing company or something, they register the domain and their name. So it is something like that. They are the registrant. You are not the real owner. Okay, there's another issue there. For example, if I buy a property and by using a broker, like I want to register a document. So where do we have the ownership? Right now, if someone say, this is my house. Now someone say, no, this is not your house, it's my house. So then the dispute arises in the judiciary. How they take it? Show me the document. So now I should have a document with me, which is got from the registration department of every country or a revenue department of every country. They give a document. So if I have the document, then it's my house, right? That's the way. Now someone else has it, they have it. So as a registrant, I should have this document from the registry through a registrar. Okay, that's a process. Like a government, there is a department. Under the department, there is a registrar. From there, we have a registration process happens for a land record or a property buying, right? That's a method. Same way in the physical world, online world is this method. So now here is as a registrant, you decide to buy a property. You decide to buy a property example. Now you went to a broker, one example. A broker did everything for you, negotiated with everything. Then you need to go to registrar and register it under the registry. That day you are so busy, you could not go. You told your broker, please register in your name. Because I cannot come. So he becomes the owner of the property. Actually, really, legally he's the owner. So similarly, many of the people who give out the orders to the different website design company, web development companies, they give the domain name, but the domain in their name. I'm not telling everybody has a bad intentions, but it's not the practice. You need to have a domain in your name. You need to have the property in your name. The broker's name you can have, he'll not make a problem, but you'll not have peace of mind. Anytime you can change. If anything goes wrong, anything goes wrong, he's having his own will, his own property, people have ancestors to do. Same way, the company, when you register, the domain has to be in your name. Okay, so here, when you register a domain name with registrar, you need to do administrative contact and technical contact. Minimum administrative contact in your name. Which your name. I'll show you how you can check that one. Now, those who already have a website, they already made a website. You can enter a website, go to I'll show you how you check that one. You make sure that in your name. If not there, talk to nicely to the person who's registered for you and ask him to transfer to you. Then only it become your property. Because ask him nicely, because if he deny, you don't have any option to give you, because he owned that. So okay, so that's the point. So this is the model we need to be following for registering the domain names. Okay, now. So this is the business model. If you can understand, I'll also explain you in a business idea. Before going there, I'm going to talk about everything we understand this model, right? So you might have noticed we since the beginning I told you, if we can understand these three things, any internet business model we can understand. So when we discussed about the affiliate marketing, we discussed this model. When we discussed about the private label products, we discussed about this model. And we discussed the YouTube, same model, right? The Thursday, I think I'm glad that all of you liked that concept. Thank you so much. I think I'll come out with something called the YouTube Mastery. Next week, we'll announce you. 1 week we are going to spend on a YouTube Mastery alone, where you can, everybody told me that strategy number 10, you really amazed and you really like it. Thank you so much, guys. As I mentioned to you, it's an amazing thing in this time. Without even having a website, we can, I'm glad that most of you, that free offer, all of you are trying to encash, and my colleagues inform me that most of you have grabbed that opportunity. Good, I think the time is over. I don't know if 5 p.m. was the time of the, today I hope all of you have taken that opportunity of setting up your own YouTube channel based on a channel, strategy number 10. Okay. And I'll also talking to you. Don't worry, so many of you, I got so many emails yesterday when I sent you and asking about how that CC, Creative Commons works, how the algorithm works, how the capture widths and offshore works. So everything I'll explain to you in the next week. 1 full week I'll spend with you. Last time many people told me, you're so fast. Because actually my intention was going to 9th and 10th, showing that. Because setting up a channel, many people knew. 9 methods of making money with YouTube, I thought many people already know. That's not the point. Because the 9 method people know. That is a lot of hard work, shooting and editing, everything. Plus, you need to find an affiliate model. Affiliate is website doing better than a YouTube. So my perspective was to do the less work of 30 minutes to 1 hour, you making $100 a day. So that's a model, and plus automation, plus ranking, plus not making videos of yourself. So that was the product that I went, but I apologize that it's so fast. But next week, 1 full week, I think probably 18th to 24th, we'll be spending only on a YouTube Mastery. So you can come back and participate if you missed it, or if you go to the recordings and watch. That is actually, you get an overall idea, but all the aspects around the 15 aspects I discussed will be discussed in that 7 days time. Okay, now we'll come back. So what my point here, even a YouTube business, you could get it, the details, this model, right? So even a domain name, we need to understand this model: strategy, technology, and organization. So you being an organization, you should be the owner of the domain. Don't ever forget that. You should be the business owner of your website. Your administrative contact has to be in your name. Okay, that never forget. Technology aspects of you, what kind of a domain you buy, and how you connect it, what is the DNS, where you can access, and how you can change your air record. There are a few technological aspects, minimum level you should know. Most of the things in the dashboard itself is that you don't have to know coding and programming. You can have that. Then there is something called strategical aspect. What kind of a name and how that name looks like, and what are the names to be taken care of, how the people can attract, how I get a more search engine ranking, how I can be different from others, how to add value to my brand, etc. All that part of our strategy. That's exactly what we're going to discuss now. Now, first of all, now strategy we'll discuss about. Choose your domain wisely. It is when you choose a domain name, based on that, people perceive you. So that's if the moment you are a domain owner and that's your brand owner, that's the first communication you're doing with your team members, right? One way, your potential clients. So your domain look like your domain, people will judge you. It's a part of your branding communication. So when you look at the branding, in a simple language, when you say what is the branding, branding is how others think about you, right? So domain name, by looking at this, you have perception about that company. You have an idea about that company. Some of the domain you look at, you don't trust some of the domain name because it's so cheap and it's not so elegant. So these are the things on a domain. So you need to use wisely. An example, for example, you're especially with your, depending on Google, and you're on promotion with the less resources you're starting, then it's always better to use the domain name which convey the message of the product or the service you offer. So there are a lot of examples, right? For example, how you convey your message, and like for booking.com, you know, the okay? hotelcombine.com, okay? So that is, what is Hotel Combine. Together, they're offering something, right? Now, you also, sorry, you also have a matrimony.com, makemytrip.com, yatra.com. These are the few examples how, with convey the message itself, they convey. So there are few things actually, people actually, very interestingly also choose the conveying message. We'll discuss a bit later on that. Okay. Now, the few examples, when you look at it, all these companies they talk about, by looking at the name itself, we know what they provide. That's one of the wise way. Okay, that's a good strategy to use this kind of a name on it. And some of the case, you already have a brand. Some of your case, you already have a business. You already established in the market. You already know, people know about your company name, your business name, your shop name, your retail outlet name, your salon name, your dentist, everything they know. So what you have to choose the same brand. Here you have to protect the domain, which I'll come to you a bit later, because the .com, someone register, it's only with one person and across the billions of people. No one else can get it. So we need to protect our brand. Is also very, very important aspect. Okay. Now, these are the companies, they register their domain with them. Now, another strategy aspect, if you are looking for running a business based on a search engine, you want Google people to search for you in Google and find you. When the people search for their product and services, with their problems, they want the product and services they wanted, and they search for the problem they're facing, they search for some brand they're searching, you want to rank in the Google first page. So we discussed earlier also this one. Now, coming week in a search engine optimization SEO part, we'll discuss this part in detail. So search engine friendly domain, you have to take it. When we say search engine friendly, Google has given a few parameters, how they value the search engine friendly. Number one, you use underscore, Google give you minus mark. You hyphen, you use it, give you minus mark. You use actually numbers in the search engine. Sorry, the domain name, the Google give you minus mark. So most of the time, the keyword you wanted, SEO domain you wanted, which is not available. You know why? One person get one name. No one else has, because it's so unique. Someone has taken Facebook.com, no one else, because someone else should not type in to website they should not reach. So that's important part. So Google.com, only one. So no one else get a Google.com. Similarly, all the things should be search engine friendly. You need to choose this kind of a domain. So when we don't get the real one, what we do? We usually use, original is not the add underscore, hyphen. Very bad idea. Very bad idea in two aspects. Search engine don't like you. They give you minus mark. They don't rank you. That's one of the reasons they'll not rank you. I'm not saying not rank you. So you cannot score mark. Okay, so you unnecessarily inviting a trouble and giving a minus mark you're getting. So even other places you scored and you go down. So because of that, you're not reaching the first page and second page and third page. Another thing is, even people, human beings like us, we also presume it is or assume that, hey, they didn't get an original. Because you are the original, you should get the without underscore, right? So that's an important decision you take it. And plus search engine friendly, there are a few more points you need to consider about the search engine domain registration. For example, you register for 1 year. The minimum is we register for 1 year. 1 year when you register it is at $12. 2 year register, same price, right? Usually. But we don't pay that way. But Google value you register for 5 years, more years. Because Google algorithm says if you register for 1 year, he may not be there next year. That's the machine understanding. So if you register for example, we are competing, you are competing, I'm competing to come Google first page. So I'm doing the best, you are doing the best. But in the mark wise, Google look at my domain register for one year, your domain register for 2 years, you get a more mark. So more number of years you are registering, your domain is important. Okay, if you are planning that way. I'm not saying 10 years, at least 5 years. You can register for it. Okay, so search engine friendly, no hyphen, no underscore, and no numbers. In usual case number, but in some cases you have to use a number as part of your branding. But usual case using the keyword itself. Okay, so about the hyphen etc. part. this hyphenated people hate is a very negative mark you get for a search engine ranking process. So when you're naming the domain itself, you have to think about how people come to your house or your shop through, your website is basically your house or a shop. That's important part. Now, so why this majorly, people perceive as a negative value, and so do not. There are so many reasons to not use a hyphen, underscore. You said so many people use that one, and it's a low quality actually. So that's what exactly. Now, you also convey the industry name. For example, you're selling a diamond. You say ZaraDiamonds.com. So you can use an industry name along with that. You can also convey the messages talking about what are the services you provide. Okay. Now, the top level domain, there's a second part of the domain, like a .com, .in, .co, .info, .name, .org. All of this thing is called TLDs, okay, top level domains. Now, each TLD is with a different registry. Maybe one registry will have multiple, but there is every TLD has a one registry. So now, every time you register, they make money. That's what exactly their business. They become a registry and to keep the record, connections, everything, technological infrastructure, investment, all the things. Then every time we register, they make money. Okay, and that's a good business model. Now, so this you can choose all the TLDs, except few TLDs is reserved for a few things, like a .gov, which is reserved for a governments. .aero, it's only for airports. You get some .edu now, only for a US. Get that one. Okay, US education institutions get it. Like that, you can have few exceptions. Apart from that, everyone can have whatever the domain. Whoever pay for it first, you get it. That's another opportunity. I'll come to that one. So this is called a TL. Now the .com stand for what you know, all of you. Okay, what .com stand for what? So there are .org in the organization. .bizbins, .business, .inbiz, .india, .pkbins, .pakistan, .qa means Qatar. So like that, you have geographically or maybe some other thing confirming as well. There are a few things people misunderstand it is that way. Like a .tv is the best example. Many people, what is TV? Your answer is television. Is wrong. .tv is not a television. Okay, .tv is a Tavo island, like a .in for India, .qa for Qatar, .pk for Pakistan, .uk for United Kingdom, US for USA. It's like that .tv is for a Tavo island, one of the islands. They put it .tv. But when the domain name they came out, people like the idea. Hey, I'm not getting a .com. I'm not getting a .net. I'm not getting a .org. So better I take a .tv. Number one. Another thing, there are a lot of TV companies, television broadcasting corporations. They started taking .tv. There's a different kind of Al Jazeera.tv, BBC.tv, like that. They started using it. Then there are a few people like those production companies, the serial makers, all people start taking $.tv. What happened? The .tv, actually, the Tavo Island, they not even predicted $10,000 business in 1 year. Not even predicted. But today, Tavo Island, 45% of the country's GDP come from domain name. So that many people are raising domain name, but there's a small country. 45% is not a big amount for that, but still, the country's economy changed just because of the one domain name. Okay, so this is the way people use the domain name, and you can choose a different market. You can you can see sometime .amazon.com. It's a global website. Amazon.me for a Middle East. They put it. Amazon.ae for a UAE. They kept it. .amazon.fr only for France. They kept it. .in for India. So there is website itself. We can configure from geographically. You want to specify. They can do that. Now another method is actually very creatively people use this one. This kind of extensions. Like, for example, I'll tell you which one is I really like it. It's a person who did a workshop with me around 10, 15 years ago in one of the places. And she started, her website is a loseweight.kg. So she sells weight loss products. Her website is loseweight.kg. So lose weight, so good conversion there. Right? You lose your weight, right? The .kg. Kg stand for kilogram. Actually, this .kg is Kyrgyzstan. So they changed the .kg, use for this. There are many examples like the rt.st. So people can choose kind of a domain that way. Okay. So this one method of using on it. Okay. Now, so different country has something like .co.uk, different kind of a DLD is also there. So multiple domain for one website. This is one of the strategic decision you have to take it. You need to register most of the time you have plural and singular as well. Why? Because you started ZaraDiamond.com. Someone else can do ZaraDiamonds.com and even attract your customers. And even you can take out your traffic to them. So it is important for you to keep that singular and plural. This is one of the examples I used to say to the people. I've seen, Shark Tank, the one of the investment, pitching program, but the reality show of you have a business. You can go and pitch to the investors to invest money with you for your business. The Shark Tank, I would recommend to you to watch if you are planning to be a digital entrepreneur and tomorrow you are planning to raise the capital from the angel investors or a venture capitalist or any of the way you're planning to do. So this is the best way to understand how the pitching, how they present the business to investors. There is a real, not a fake shows. It's a real billionaires and billionaires will be sitting and expert business owners who self-made business owners. It's not just simple because his dad is rich, he's become rich. No, self-made business owners sit there, real corporate company owners. They listen to the ideas, then invest money, then and there. So there people come and say, I want $100,000, I want $500,000 for 25% of my company, 50% of my company, 35% of my company, 2% of the company. Like that, they come and pitch, then negotiation happens, then and there. It's a beautiful show. Okay, I used to watch and it's beautiful. I would recommend you, if you're planning to be a digital entrepreneur and you wanted to have a pitch, or you want to be a consultant, you help others. Because I started watching, because many other companies, many other people, I wanted to go to meet the investors. I never knew how to do it. I learned from that shows, because how they pitch and how they talk and the questions, especially I learned the questions. The questions the investors ask is amazing questions. So that is a real eye-opening. So one of the questions, this in a reality show, that's my point. The four youngsters came with a fantastic idea, great business, and good traction is there. And the investor, we know the deal is they're going to get a deal there. So the company valued around $30 million. Around he's going to give a 15% of the company's stake against he's going to invest a few $1 million in that. So final question before he moving at confirming it is why it is singular, the domain name singular. The answer from the 4-member group, one person said, plural is without competitor. That's immediately kept his diary down. He said, I'm not interested. The $30 million valuation, we want an investor coming with a 15% as a stake with money lost. Just one more domain. They should have purchased with S and another plural and singular. So important for you to keep it that plural and singular. It's very important. Second one is you also keep the common misspellings. So you write, how many of you can write now without, can you write now? Can you write and type it, entrepreneur.com without looking anywhere? Can you do it? How many of you do write? Okay, you should try. You don't get it sometimes. We use maybe the Grammarly or other AI tools, but that's what human beings. Sometimes, color, what is the spelling? C-O-L-O-R or C-O-L-O-U-R? We don't know. Both people use, both are right. So now which domain you use it? So it's important for you to keep the common misspelling as well. And you also talk about benefit, like lose weight, an example. Like that you can have just, so you can actually convey the messages of your product and services, and keeping this is important part. Now, multiple domain for one website. Yes, you can have multiple domain for one website, and sometimes singular and plural come to that, and multiple domain you register and come to you. And this is a very, very important aspect. Those who are online shopping mall owners, or you are planning to be a niche owners with us, this is important part. So, with the domain name, we have differentiated the market, and every market is protected with the one domain, one TLD. And with the country is blocked for you and exclusive without any competition. So think about it. Please try to understand that perspective as well. Now, how do we register? So how do you can have a domain name? It's a very simple process, and everyone can do this one. how to register a domain? Go to any registry. So we have our own registrar website. We we don't use many other websites. That's really another reason. Just this location, I'll use that one. Many of the registrar or resellers, like I don't want to brand another name. There are many companies. Okay, they sell the search pattern. So, for example, you are doing a brainstorm. Hey, you want to start an online boutique. Hey, you want to start a food supply business, or you want to do an exporting business. I want to start a shoe making website. Hey, I want to start a consulting business. I want to type my name and you search. So when you search your pattern, whatever you search, usually don't get it. So you can, this is better. Even if it's available, this is better, that's better. So when 4 or 5 times you search it, there's a search pattern. These search patterns are sold by these companies. So if you are not doing then and there within a day, it goes. That's the reason most of you will come back and, hey, yesterday it was there, today is not there. Sometimes even 1 hour ago. So whenever I recommend to people, if you are doing any platform, please make sure that immediately you're doing it, number 1. Okay. Number 2, I recommend, this is actually I give to the people who are especially doing a private beta with us or making a website with us. It is, even to do to our consultant, I'd say never search outside, you come and search. But here we don't sell any search pattern, we don't even capture search patterns. So you don't have to worry about search pattern going out. Okay, that's one. And here it's a website. This is actually our own website, our own ADM.QA website, where we are WMC domains, WMC is affiliate web mining consortium of the web, and all the consortium company, we do the domain here. So you go to this page, www.wmcdomains.com. You search for any other domain you wanted. You can search, you can search. I'm not asking you to do, I think I'm short of time now. I want you to look in this one. Tomorrow you have to do with your mentor, okay? So tomorrow, 30 minutes. Please do this one if you are not aware about it. So go to this, I can, for perfume, I want to search it. Maybe the .com I can have, .net I can have. So that's a desired domain. Then I type it. Then it's available or not, I can see. So available. So available with the Qatar Riyal price. If I'm doing from Qatar, sometime in a USD, sometime. So maybe in the pound or a euro, depends upon where you are from or which. So then when you search it, you get into add a shopping cart like any other e-commerce website. You add to the shopping cart. From there, you check out, and you pay like money, like local currency, credit card, debit card, PayPal. You can pay, and just 10 seconds you can create an account. You need to create an account, your name, email ID, user ID, put in, create an account. Then once you create an account, you get a dashboard that you have everything, like you have a record there. Okay. Now, as I mentioned earlier, when you do this one, you go to a domain name, this is a website. You can see, you go to wmcdomains.com. You go to the mouse, you go to the domains that area. Then there's a drop-down menu. You can see so many buttons there, like a registered domain, bulk domain registration, new domain extension, sunrise domains, premium domains, transfer domains, bulk domain, free with every. Okay, there are a few marketing tools, and who is lookup. I just spend a quick read this one, and you can read this. Everything is there. Just tell you what is a registered domain, which you just saw registering in your domain. Bulk domain registration. Now you want to register all the names. You want to protect all the countries, your business. So you can register with all the DLDs across the globe, maybe around 3,000. You may not go in 3,000, DTL maybe 200. Even you want to register the 10 or 20 domain name at a time. You selected 10 or 20 domain name, and you can actually at a time do bulk domain. You don't have to type 20 times. That's a bulk domain. New domain extension. So every day, a new DLDs are coming in the world. That's the reason for 3,000 now. Like a .engineer is come, .doctor came, .republican, .journalist, .qatar, like that, .qa, like a different thing is coming up. Now, you wanted to have this kind of an extensions. So you have to look in there what the new is come. So you might get a new one actually there, okay? There is something called Sunrise domain. Sunrise is actually, you have a brand. Let's say Al-Jazeera.com. Then Al Jazeera is a company. The Al Jazeera has a brand. Now, Al Jazeera, instead of TV, someone coming with something, let's say, television. So they will contact existing brand owners who have a copyright, who have the protection, IP right. They can register first. The sunrise period will not be open to the public. So you can protect your brand. So you are into this industry, you will need to know this kind of a thing. You can have sunrise. Premium domains I'll talk to you a bit later, because premium domains are basically whatever the name you search in Google, search in the domain you wanted to register, 6 up to in English, 6 alphabets, whichever the permutation and combination you do, which will not be available because it's gone. But you wanted a good domain, whatever domain you search, it's usually not there. So then why is not there? Because many people already registered. So there's a demand and supply issue. So more people wanted, so I'm ready to give out my domain for a better price. I'll show you a few examples how it happens. That's called a premium domain. Now transfer your domain, someone else was using, you wanted to buy from him, or he was transferring it, you would do transfer. Then bulk also, you can do the same with bulk client. Okay. Now another important is actually Whoislookup. Whoislookup is in the domain area. When you go to the domain area, look at the Whoislookup. Who is the owner? Now, if you are an owner of the domain name or a website, first thing you should do it is, if you are not registered this one, your website owner company, web designing companies, or some other people did for you, then go to Whoislookup and type there your name, your domain name. Then it shows who is the owner of that. So that's very, very important. Okay, go to Whoislookup. So you put your details there. Then it goes to take you to the other place. They show who is owning that one. Okay, so there are a few other technical aspects also I'm not covering, but here you can see when you search whose name it is registered and who's the registrar name, it comes there, etc. You can see all it. So okay, so this is very, very important as we mentioned, and I'll again repeat you that is common misspelling you have to take care. Now, but the point I was talking about a premium domain. So good domains are like a short commodities. I don't know how much a big commodity you are feeling. It is a huge, huge business. Okay, so it's a when we say it's a huge business, you can't even imagine what is it? What kind of a price it is. Okay, now it's also an online asset. Every domain of yours it's an online asset. Now, why it is asset? Because it's the price grow. You pay $12, it's not about $24, not about $200, not even $2,000. It can grow much higher than that. Now, for example, most of the time, which is what is it? Whatever you wanted is not available. That's an issue comes up. Or you say it's available as a premium. So many people actually has that. Then they will sell it out. Okay, they're ready to sell. This is called now a premium domain. So here, so you can see the premium domain you wanted to see. When you search in this any of the registrar like this in our own website you search, or GoDaddy you search, or whichever you are comfortable with your searches, you can see there. So it's a premium domain. It means someone is owning and they're ready to sell it. So this is called as a premium domain. Now, so this premium domain is basically you can buy it, and in another way you can also sell it. So tomorrow you wanted to buy and sell it. It's a huge business model. I'll tell you in a few examples, then you get it. Then I'll tell you some of my experience as well in this industry on part. Now, now every domain, as I told you, around $12. So the most expensive domain so far that's sold in the market is business.com. It's for $345 million. So how much is the business.com invested? $12. The people bought for $345 million. Las Vegas is a $90 million. The person with the investment of $12 has got a $90 million, right? Now, or carinsurance.com, $49 million. Insurance.com. See, every insurance company wants insurance.com, right? But hundreds and thousands and millions of insurance and insurance agents and other things, everybody wanted insurance.com, but one guy in this world got insurance.com. And they paid $35 million, and someone made $35 million because he invested only $12. Okay, so this is the way. Now, vacationrentals.com, so again, $35 million. Privatejet.com, so $30 million. And voice.com, again, $30 million. Internet.com, so fantastic name, isn't it? So $18 million. 360.com, that's also a good name, right? 360 is okay. $17 million. Insure.com. Insurance is not there. Gave me insure at least. There's again $16 million. Okay. Now this is a very big industry. Huh? I'll just tell you a couple of more examples. So top name sold in 2019. Voice.com. So 300,000. Now California, like you can see the last year alone, so many. Even this, 1 year ago, this kind of a business happening here. Okay. Links.com. It's a fantastic name, right? So Medidata. So in the industry, in the medical field, there's a huge value in that one. bettingodds.com, so casinos.org. So all the things you can have in this kind of a premium domain. It's also a business actually. Why it is a business? Many people in the world are actually running this as a business. They think about some name, or the name is going to be popular. They immediately register, and it has a huge value. Tomorrow you can sell it. There are domains I'm looking to buy, even I'm ready to pay even $50,000 because that's important to me. But he's not selling. Okay, he's not even ready to sell it. Now, actually, how I noticed this as an industry, I never knew something like this. This when I started initially the business around 15 years ago. I was a very great fan of cricket. So I was crazy about cricket. Every match, everything. So that was a lot of series happening between India and Pakistan. So in my childhood, I don't know those who know about 20, 30 years ago, the players, like the amazing players, not like today. So it's great players, and they're amazing to see on them on a court, and we register. We play. Everything will accept it. So that's the reason. In Indian side, Kapil Dev and Gavaskar is playing in the Pakistani side, like Imran Khan and Wasim Akram is playing. There's something like a great thing. So this one is actually continuous. I thought people should have this information online as well, so that not like a news feed like 20 years ago. So I registered a website called IndiaPakistan.com. So basically, cricket score whenever people want to have a live update. It was not two feed like you get a news feed free or API free. It was basically one of my intern staff watch the TV and listen to the radio update on the website. Okay, IndiaPakistan.com. But it just saved me one of the crises. Around $1,500 I need an urgent basis. I don't have anything. So that's the time one of my friends, okay, you want to sell this one? I buy it up. So we negotiated, I sold for around $1,500. It's actually twice I renewed. I mean, $12 in a year. Second time I renewed $12. So $24 is investment. I got $1,500. So that's why I started looking at this. But when you look at today, this industry is a huge industry. There is in the US, every year there is a conference which people go physically and exchange and sell the domain names. And to get into that exhibitions or that expo, you need to have more than 1,000 domains. You have to have 1,000 domain owner. Otherwise, you don't get entry, which also should be premium. That's conditions like that. So, like you can also have an online. There are a lot of places like which I told you about. Flippa.com, Seda.com is the most popular for selling a domain name, and you can also go to embassylpress.com, feinternational.com. So, in fact, actually, from now we are also getting a lot of things. We are also coming out with our own marketplace as well, ADM website, flipping.com. So where domain people can flip, like in a Seda.com, similar to Seda.com, but we focus more on websites, as net present value, and we are planning to sell off more of niche ownership. So in that, we also have domain selling on it. So how do you buy and sell it? You can go to ADM website flipping. It's in a beta stage now. By October, inshallah, this month, when we complete that 100 days period, this is one of the sites will be launched. All of you can register domain and place it here, because once it's become popular, you can actually get a good sales on it. So you can buy domain or buy websites. Options are there. You can go and sell it as well. You can go and register your domain, and you can either buy or sell. Happening kind of so basically, you want to sell your domain, we will sell a domain for you for a premium price, and we charge 20% of the transaction fee. I mean, for example, you registered over $12, you sell for $10,000. So we charge you $2,000 once you receive from the buyer. So this model, we have a business model, ADM website, flipping.com, but it's a kind of a business model I'll explain to you later. But part of a domain name, I'll talk only on this aspect now. Okay. Now, sell your domain or buy your domain, you can do. And even your online business completely, you do that. Now, I'm going to talk to you before we further proceeding with the domain name aspects. The first one, the business idea which we are going to discuss today. The first idea is, would you like to become a registrar? Registrar like a GoDaddy, registrar like a various other companies, which you remember that stuff which we discussed about, right? So you can like GoDaddy. You can start a business like a GoDaddy. You can compete with them. You can have maybe separate business model. This is a completely automated business model. So imagine you are a registrar. Number here is more than the money, the portfolio you're getting. with the, what your company, level you're getting. You are a registrar. You have an authority, to provide the domain name. And people search through whom I'm registered, you as act as a registrar. That's an opportunity you can start. And this is an amazing business. And like, how the business works, like ICANN, under ICANN, you become a registrar, right? So you remember that ICANN, registry, registrar, reseller, and registered. So registrant, register with a registrar, right? Through a reseller. You can also appoint a reseller. So who can be appoint resellers? All the website designing companies, all the web development companies wanted a domain name. So basically, in our market, domains actually, including domain we place in order to one web development company. So they don't have a domain name to sell it. Sometimes they become a reseller of another company. So you can make them a reseller. They will resell. Okay, I'll explain you the business model. And any chartered accountant, because why chartered accountant, you can have a relationship with them. Many of the people go and register a company through a chartered accountant. They need a domain name. Many of the CAs and company secretaries, even consultants, they need a domain name. So all the things you can make them as a reseller, they will sell for you. And you are a registrar of this. Okay. Now, the business model which we discussed with you earlier, I hope all of you believe, or really all of you understood, and you can have your own business with thousands of domain selling. So it's basically you are selling your own domain registration, you are a registrar and selling a space. What other thing you can do this business? It's a completely automated business. Another thing is good thing about, and you don't record a company, you just need a PayPal account. With a PayPal account, you can handle this business. Now, domain name, registration, hosting space, this is the thing people wanted, right? Now someone want to set up an online entity. What are the things they wanted? They want a domain name registration. They want a hosting space, right? Now you domain registered. Now where do you host your website? You made a design of website. Tomorrow we are covering, and today also we'll cover some portion of the website part. So tomorrow, once you design a website, you need to host somewhere where across the globe people should access. So that's the reason you need a hosting space. Then you have a domain transfer facility. Now someone bought it, I want to transfer, etc. Then SSL certificates. Now that is actually security aspects. People trust once SSL is there, right? If it's not other, people don't trust. That's one thing. Then website server and corporate email IDs. So nowadays, many of the website you go, they don't even accept your commercial email IDs. Like you got Gmail, they say no. And corporate email ID only people receive now. Even you are recruiting some staff, even in the beginning itself, you need a corporate email ID. So these are the things you can actually provide. So what are the advantages of this business? So much advantages are there. Now, it's a technically a legitimate business of yours. Why I'm technically legitimate? Now, if you are a startup or you are planning to start a business, so you need to make a brand in the market. So what do you do? So you say, I'm a consultant. You have a number of complex, or you say, I just started maybe a web designing company, or I have a graphic designing company. So your portfolio in that level. But you say, I'm also a registrar, and put a website like wmcdomains.com, which has no cost. It's easy for you. It's just $12. You can have that one. Just $12. No, you need to have a domain to do that. But of course, the setup part is that I'll tell you how you can do that. So this, your company's portfolio increase immediately. So, and someone see your website, someone see your business card, someone go through your profile, your website, and they say, oh, they also have this facility. So that the common people don't know how easy it is available, and it can be done. So legitimate, sir. And I know a couple of examples. 3 examples I'll tell you about this business model. First of all, I started doing, because I had a website designing company. Instead of depending on another company, I took because we have a control, and we can give it on the spot the thing. And plus, this industry was really, really good. The moment I started doing a .com, .org is reach out to me, because all these people that wanted a business, and they give a lot of facilities, they give a lot of training, they give a lot of vacation plans, etc. This industry is a really vibrant industry. Secondly, a friend of mine is a good trainer, and after his marriage, he wanted to start something from scratch. So that's the time he wanted to raise a capital. So now he's a trainer. He just made a small website. When you go to an investor, he's looking for only for his skills and knowledge. That's it. But here he presented also, I also have these services. I provide domain name, I provide a hosting space and thing. So that investor did not convince with him on his training, but he convinced with his business model. So it is actually investment only $12, but he got $100,000 investment for his training business. Of course, this was not his primary business model, but of course he was promoting, because every time he's talking about online entrepreneurship, people ask to buy a website, has to buy a domain name, so it is there. Okay. So then another thing is, so you can immediately, your company's brand, it can be built. That's a good thing about. That's one thing about it, because you are a registrar. You are a registrar, not some small company. Another one is basically my brother, my youngest brother. He convinced my dad to fund him to go to London, London University to do MBA. So that okay, I'll pay you the university fees, but survival is yours. So he discussed with me, how do I do? Now doing post graduation in a UK university is always an expensive one. So I said, you start some online business anyway, do something. So this one he chose, and because it's completely automated, you don't require anything. Everything can be automated. That's a good thing. Even invoicing, billing, accounts. There's no stock to support, because if somebody raised automatically domain, he goes from his account, and once in a while, whenever you have to spend the time, you to look at everything, okay. So he chose that. And the entire 2 years, he could survive. Not only that, when I spoke to my mom once, she very proudly told me that even last week he sent money home when he went to study. He was studying, and he was not took any job apart from this. So I'm talking about not a small business. So you can see, actually, it's not only the branding part, even you wanted to make money. That's a great thing. Okay. So you can actually reach a global business. Even you wanted to learn online business to market across the globe, you can use this business model. And you can have your own branded. You're competing with GoDaddy. You think about it, everybody knows GoDaddy. Say, what do you do? I am a restaurant. What is that? Like a GoDaddy. I'm competing. You're competing. That itself is a big brand. And you talk to the brand building exercises are fantastic in social media, everything. That's one. And it's as I mentioned, it's your portfolio. Your company's portfolio completely different the moment you add this one. And you understand what is happening around the world from this so far. And you can sell your own price. That's a good thing. So registry give you a price. It's up to you what price you sell it. Of course, there is something called industry standard price and a tomato price. I'll tell you what is tomato price. Industry standard, there's a price, but not for all the domain. It's like a .com, .in, .qa, .org, .biz, .co. There are few things has a industry price. But many other things people don't know. Even I've seen in a UAE, one company paid around 1,600 dirhams for a domain of $12. You ask how the hell you're charging this much. So I did for this one. So you can, that's I am not agree that way, but at least you can actually have a price. So like there are countries with $100, you can have a $200. You can set the price at what price you want. You can mark up. Not only normal, small, $12, even a premium domain you can sell. So previously seen a premium domain, how they sell it. So you can actually, the platform which you can get it is you can actually charge with a percentage. So 10% margin, 30% margin. So someone buying for 100,000 domain name, your margin is 10%. You think about $10,000 is your margin. Even a $10,000 premium, $10,000, $5,000 a very common premium price. Any domain you want, they'll ask you 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. People buy it. Even a 5,000, you have $500. And any domain, so how you sell it, this selling part here is actually, you cannot rank in Google first page. Too much of competition. You cannot never rank above GoDaddy. So I told you, some of the thing you never try for SEO, this is an example. But you can through social media. You can do email marketing. You can actually go to many of the brand already have another domain. Hey, what do you do? Buy from me this domain. You have to protect this one. Hey, you're a doctor. You register .com. Why don't you register .doctor as well? .engineer as well. And so every industry coming with a TLD. So they may not have taken that one. So they'll buy that one as well. Okay. Then another thing is, as I mentioned earlier, graphic designers, company secretaries, chartered accountant, consultants, all these people you can make a reseller. And you give them a margin, tell them what's the price you want to sell it. They have a reseller account. They can create a reseller account. Like all the website designing companies use a reseller account. The reseller account, they sell it for. All the website designing companies, graphic design companies, web development companies, IT companies can be your reseller, and you can sell your own price. You can fix the MRP of the price you want it. And you can also have multiple currencies. You can have all major currency, around 30, 40 currencies. You can have a price to be fixed. And you can also have multiple language. You want in Arabic, it's possible. You want it in French, in Spanish. You can have a multiple language of this website as well. And it's 100% virtual. There's no stock, there's no logistic, no inventory to train out, everything online. Okay, everything is online. And you can, how do you make money? This one, sell the products and services under your own price. Okay, it's very simple. Okay. Now, what is your requirement to do this one? According to me, one PayPal and bank account. That's it. Nothing else required. Of course, you need a logo. Okay, you need a logo because the website looks like you put a logo, like you've seen it. I put a logo there. So it's a customized, completely, completely comprehensive platform with all products and services. Like you have a domain name, you have SSL certificate, you have a web hosting, you have a cloud hosting, you have a Gmail, you have so many other services to provide. Then plus you have a client login. So every customer who's buying from you, they're not calling you. They just log in. You've seen how they register a domain, register and pay. And they get an automated renewal mail. Now, every year you get paid. For example, imagine this year you made 1,000 clients. Next year, again, another 1,000 clients will renew and through you. And many registrar, you wanted to change the registrar, they charge. You can see that one, $100, $200 price. Okay, I forgot to tell you what is the tomato price. So tomato price is actually the industry terminology. Like, vegetable vendor, usually the customers goes. And before buying from the farmers market, the idea came from the farmers market. Farmers market, different prices will be there, right? So, so the different prices from the farmers markets to come. So the customers go and ask, what is the price of the tomato? Based on that, they get the price of all other products as well. I think the older generation, they'll know this tag. So that customers are going, what's the tomato price there? Here is a $1, here is a $1.5, there's a $2. Based on they also judge he is expensive. So what the farmers do, farmer markets people do, they reduce the tomato price. So tomato, instead of a $1, they reduce $0.5. So the people think he's so cheap. So that's what exactly some companies does. You can also do. I personally don't like that idea, but you can do. And the next year you charge more. For example, first year is a $1. Your price. The second year he has to another $1. So what you do is the first year you reduce to $0.5. So you have a $0.5 loss. Next year you charge $2 more. That's one of the method. Or you wanted to charge one's acquisition cost, because if you cheaper, people will buy from you. So that's a method you can do. So it's up to you. The price you to fix it and make a margin. And payment gateway, most of the payment gateway can be integrated. So across the globe, whichever country you're from, which is the best payment gateway you wanted apart from PayPal also, it can be done. Okay. And you can also do something like, that's what exactly I do. awmcdomains.com, which is the people who are taking over the website under our consultants and consultancy is, our consultancy, that's the right word, or a consultant want to take a decision. To the mentees and want to take a decision before finalizing. There's a consulting activity for a domain registration. So when they register with other registrar, as I told you, they send a search pattern. So whatever you thought it may not be available for next day. So you can have that stay. That one. Second one is the most important part. This one should, before they're paying money, they want to consult. So maybe night they're working, they may not get it that time. So they can register pay offline, so that will be blocked and they can buy it just next day. And they can consult, the consultant will have time to consult and to get back to them. So they can also have another payment option, pay offline. You can also have that one option. Okay, so this is your requirement. And the business to run this, prepare and send invoice to customers. So automatic is again, you don't have to manually send it. It's by the moment raised, automatically the invoices go. Even reminder mail go. And even a domain, if he is not renewing, you say tomorrow onwards is going to be suspended and re-establish, I charge you $50 extra. So that is another thing. And you can also give up, voice information. Hey, this domain I want to know. So you can send out that one. Discount can be there, and your website can be updated. And there is to want to automate what you have to do. Every time someone paying the money coming to you, but you have to money pay to the registry, right? Because somebody paying you $12, $10 you have to give to registry, or you are selling for $20, $10 you're getting, $20 you're selling. So $20, sorry, $20 you get it to your bank account, then $10 you pay. So if there is to be a manual intermediary, you have to do this work. No, you can actually have a top up with them. So it will be automated. You only make sure that top up is sufficient. So you do a $100, $200. So up to $100, $200, you don't have to manually transfer. So you keep top up there and keep your receiving money. So this is the model. You can have a top up there part. Okay. Then domain forwarding you can do. There's a DNS management. There's no part of the website hosting, server name setting. You can have a reseller account. You can set it and give it. And you can also complete Linux or a Windows part you can have. And hosting management you can give. Webmail you can give. Privacy setting you can give it out. And all the domains who's coming new as a Sunrise, you'll have a first-hand information. And always the people want it. All the TLD. Another big market for this is the existing domain name you are taken. You can use that opportunity. For example, you see a furniture company registered with a .com. You can go to that company and say .furniture is with me, and would you like to buy it? And you can actually contact by email or So and that's one of the best business model people are doing. Every segment we have a different domain name now. So .bar is there, .beer, .bio, .cafe, .cooking. Every industry, every segment there is a TLD. So you can do that one. So now, how do you sell it? For example, .com price you are getting from $34, you sell for $40 as an example. It's a Qatar Riyal or whichever price you wanted to sell it on it. Okay, so that's the difference is yours. So the difference money is yours. That's why you make a profit. Now, Indian rupees also you can fix it. Qatar Riyal you can fix it. US dollar price you can do it. Okay, so it is. This is the way it works. So now as I told you about AWS, this is a website as a registrar under your logo. Instead of the Shigar Digimendes logo, it will be completely customized for you. It can have that one with a $12 the investment, but you have to know how to set up this. I'll tell you how you can do that. So here, when you look into this, you can see this one, this billing. Everything is there actually to manage. You have a fantastic control panel where you can log into that. You can manage TLD, manage price, sell a premium domains, everything you can have. You can manage, you can increase the price. I recommend you to have a percentage because around 3,000 places, each place you go with numbers, it will be 3,000 times you have to edit. Instead of that, there is an option you percentage, 10%, 15%. Every product have 15% margin, 10% margin. Automatically, it's coming on. Okay. Now, you can also have a finance and billing. You don't record an accountant to keep it. Everything is automated. There is a system there in the platform itself. And there's a payment gateway to add. There is an option. And your billing automatically going, there's an option with the tax, without tax, all the planning also. You can do client where it is coming. You can also see. This is a very comprehensive dashboard come to you. And you can also see the payment gateway. You want with the PayPal. You want with the credit cards, you want to pay you money, you want to do banking transaction, you can set yourself all these aspects on it. Now, this one I'm selling the set profit. So you can press a percentage wise, you can percentage, 25%, 10%, 30%. You can actually, this is easy. So instead of 3,000 places you go, you can, one place you do 25% margin, every product you tell a 25% margin. Okay, so it's a beautiful thing which you can set it up. And everything it is, you can read and do. So this way, as I tell you, $12 you can start. But you want some other expert to do, easy. That one day he'll do it for you with you give a logo or they'll make a logo and do it. And now, but if you want to do yourself, you can also do knowledge base. Go to knowledge base. Everything how it is done, it is there in the knowledge base. Okay, complete details are there in the knowledge base. According to me, around 3,000 plus pages are there. 3,000 plus pages. Every information. How you want to do, it's completely there. Now, you read and set up, that's a challenging thing, I know. You can ask any of the consultant or you contact, if you wanted to start, this is and you contact them and this, I'll get it done by some of these. I know so many experts who will do it for you. It'll be faster one day with a simple logo. Later, you can change the logo if you want to. That's a method to do. Okay. Now, and you can also set up a payment gateway. You don't want a company here. You can just open a PayPal account. You open a PayPal account and give it. And it's easy to set up a PayPal Express checkout user, PayPal Standard checkout user. If you don't know about the PayPal, I think next week or this week itself, I'll be doing immediately, today and tomorrow, e-commerce and websites. Then we'll be going to the PayPal payment gateway. That I'm covering a PayPal setup of business setup, how you can do. Then there are different Skrill, AutoPay, WebMoney, CC Avenue, so many payment gateway of your choice from which country. Based on that, you can set up. Okay. Now, so all the things you can actually appoint a reseller also. What you have to do is, how do we promote this one? As I told you, this is not an SEO-based business. You cannot rank usually in the Google. I'm not saying it is impossible, it's not worth it because your competitors are high. GoDaddy, your competitor. Like you can imagine the kind of a large company is a competitor, very difficult for you to, even with a long tail, to rank. Long tail you can try, but it's not worth it. If you ask me, SEO is not worth it in this. But what is the best thing is, you can actually use a social media, you can use email marketing, use search engine marketing, and even you can do email marketing, send out an email to the chartered accountant, web designing companies, web developer companies, send them, you can become a reseller and a free sign up and offer them commissions, or they wanted to top up, they can do that as well. They can become a reseller. So they sell. So you appoint 10, 20, 30 consultants and web designing company. Majority of the web designing company take from GoDaddy. You tell them, you give the service, you charge it, because they are not getting a much margin from GoDaddy. Take from me, I'll give you a better support. What support? Actually, everything is an automated one. Okay, so this chartered accountant, consultant, web designing company, graphic designing company, wherever the company name deal, patent registrar, and even startup hubs and BNI groups, business community groups, all the places is a business generation area. Offline and online, you can do fantastic things if you wish to really look into that. So this is the way you can actually start this business part. Plus, you can also do this business, you can also flip it with a additional part. So if you like to do this setup, if you wanted to become a registrar, I think this will be the cheapest business model I ever explained, because I always say it's, you say, you need to have you need a website, you need a blah, blah, blah. So investment is coming. Even on YouTube, when I spoke about, captured goods and offshoring was expensive, and the video was expensive. So here you look at it's a very simple. And if you can either say $12, you can do yourself, or we can set it for you. Okay, so you contact Ms. Lebiba, it's ap@adm.qa. So we can, or you contact the mentors. So tomorrow when you're mentoring time, they'll show you this website. You can also create an account. Now itself, you can actually create an account and experience it is how it is. Okay, so this is a part is the major portion of the domain name. Now, domain name, another thing is actually as a flipping also we covered. Now, even domain name with the domains, actually, we can flip it. Okay. Now, once you have a domain name, you need a website or you need a blog. Most of the time, it's a blog or a website. When I say most of the time, there are occasions domain is connected to maybe to the landing page. There is something called funnel. There are different things actually. You may not be that familiar with part of a website, but as an online entrepreneur, as a digital entrepreneur, you need to understand what is a funnel, importance of the funnel, importance of the landing page. So these are the two things important for you to get a business, especially if you're starting with a small investment. So you cannot go with the large commercial part. You need to think about landing pages. You need to go to funnel. And every funnel has a strategy. And funnel gives them a lot of money. Funnel give a repeated customers. Funnel give a upsell. And through the funnel, you bring the people to the landing page. From the landing page, bring to the business other aspect. Especially when you're doing search engine remarketing campaigns, when you're doing a retargeting campaign, this becomes very, very important. So you have a domain name, then you need a server space, right? Server space, which is, I think I'll discuss with you tomorrow. It is on a more on, but just for understand, now you have a domain name. Now, to host your website, you need a different kind of hosting space. Now, why we need a hosting space? Can I use it in my computer? Of course you can, but your bandwidth, your connectivity, your space is limited, and so many people cannot access your computer. Actually, answer is actually many people maintain their own server, but that has to be very quality, and processing speed, capacity of the saving, and bandwidth. All the things are very important for a website to be run and properly done. So for that, you need a server space. The cloud is the best thing, or a virtual private server. And most of the time, the website designing company actually provide the hosting. Not necessary you have to depend on them. You can also have a separate hosting. But actually, if you are not a technical person, what I would recommend is go with the website designing person or a web designing platform, which I talked to you. If you are not good at coding, you have a small business. My idea is actually promoting a small business, a software business. Small office, home or business, a person without technical much knowledge, if they know to use the internet, they should be able to start a business. Programming and coding should not be a block to them. So that's what I'm promoting now. So if you like that way, whenever you do, I'll show you a method without coding how you can start a website. I think today and tomorrow we'll spend the time on it. So you get usually cloud space or other space. So you get it. Otherwise, you can also take a platforms and website from other companies, and domain you're buying from, like you can also buy, you say same platform which I give you. So they also give you you can also sell the hosting space, and you also sell a SSL certificate. You can actually buy separately. But it's better if you buy from one company. That's it'll be easy for you to coordination and do it. When you're migrating, that's one of the process, quite challenging process, and you should know migration aspects, how to do. And most of the time, one of the major reasons people migrate, sometimes the performance of the server is down, maybe CRM issues, customer relation management issues. So when you're moving that, you should also be careful. Or even the first time you're going over different people, server space is separate, double check with them. There is something called, they don't give you, no one in this world give you 100%. There are uncertain times. There's 98%, 99%, which means what? In a year, 3 to 4 days, your website is not work, right? Sometimes, even Google don't work. Sometimes Amazon don't work. There are issues, the Flipkart happens. So Facebook had it. So that's a downtime is expected, but not less than, it should be, everybody talk about 99.2%, 99.4%, which reduced 1 day or 2 days in a year, or 3 days in a year. So that also scheduled one should be there. Some cases, some servers will not be, not regulated properly. There are some issues. So you need to think about that quality aspects and what kind of a business you are doing. For example, now ADM.QA, I'm using our own website builder, and I'm using a landing page to, you're watching a YouTube in a landing page. And now you can see next week I'm making a kind of a landing page for a YouTube mastery. Maybe following week will be make a kind of a funnel. So this way, we are using. Now, same thing I'm not using for our online shopping mall. Online shopping mall, I'm using a completely cloud server, which is a much better sophisticated platform, because it's a large business, it's a $300 million business. So that we have to treat that way. So it depends upon what you wanted, and depends on what you planned and what kind of a facility you wanted, and do that one. And you also think about a feasibility on that. For example, you start up a company, it may not be feasible for you to pay to Amazon cloud service every month, a huge money, unless you're an investor. So you need to work on it. So you wanted to give something free. Now, one of the things you should use as a free part is Google Drive. They give you 1 TB, 2 TB, and all this. So free, of course, use that. But you buy a 1 TB or 2 TB from server provider, it's hell of money. And every month there is a billing. Most of the servers, every month is a billing. Every month you have to pay. So you also should consider the feasibility of your business, and not only technical aspect. That's a triangle, remember, strategy. The feasibility comes there. Is it economically feasible or not? And technically efficiency is also important, but not like, sometimes you need to set an industry standard. Like a banking transactions, bank has a transaction standard. Every country has a transaction standard. For recently, ADM.QA site had an attack from a hacker. So even government informed us, actually. One of the organizations there in Qatar, they sent an email. I felt I was sending it from official email to me. Then they called me, hey, Shan, look at your website, we found this issue. Okay, so even government monitor the websites. So they asked me to upgrade a server. Actually, we already had it, but actually I was not using, because we were only in experimenting stage, could not come. So I said, I already have it, I updated that. So that way, whatever you're planning to use it, and you need to utilize that one. Okay, you need to plan that way. So think about, and most of the time I recommend, if you're not that familiar with this, to take an expert of a consultant, internet business consultant or online business consultant, they'll guide you. Now, your case, you have mentors, check with them and tell them your requirement. They will guide you what kind of things you wanted. And if they don't know, they go back to the consultant and come back with your strategy. Or you give them the details, they will update the consultant, and your weekly, you had a 1-day meeting with the consultant. So they will update you about, so they can also get a time to update you about do a homework, etc. Our consultant, our method works also. I'll just tell you, I noticed that I evaluated the training, mentoring sessions of all of you. I think last 10 days now, even though it's the 9th day, we actually completed 10 days, right? So yesterday I spent a lot of time on evaluating your mentoring. I noticed that is on most of you are not really completely utilizing the opportunity you're getting as a free of cost. And you speak the mentors, your problems, and many other things are practical. I'm giving a screenshot. The purpose is you go tonight or tomorrow itself. Then if you are finding a difficulty, next day, speak to the mentor. He will help you, or she will help you. Then if they have any difficulty there in a further level, they have a trainer, and there's a consultant. So even you under a kind of a training, you can request the trainer will come and train you on a technical aspects or maybe something. Especially now onwards, you have a lot of technical stuff is coming. So you get that training from. And any kind of a strategy thing, you have a consultant. So we have a team structure. So we have a mentors. Then there is a event manager. The event manager is basically who would decide to whom you will meet. Now, which time, which platform has a mentoring happening, and the event manager coordinate with all the mentees and the mentors and informed by email. I think most of you are not taken that one. Make sure that is your appointment is got confirmed and you're utilizing that. Then he also report or she also report to the IBCs and the company. This is happening. Now, once the mentor is done, mentor also give a feedback. So that feedback goes to the IBCs and trainers. We understand this is your requirement. So before they meet you for a weekly review or a weekly training or weekly strategies, so they already have information, not that 1 hour you have to ask them, you to waste your time. So when they come, they can actually directly present to you. So this is what is exactly our team structure. And then we have a coordinator, all these things. So Mr. Tahir is a coordination now. And above Tahir, we have an Eva handling all this aspect. This Eva will be taking care on that one. On a daily basis, every day, minimum 1 hour, we all, mentors, IBCs, consultant trainers, so even social media influencers, Eva, Tahir, and my team is spending on your part. So please, I request all of you to take the advantage of this one and take it forward. Now, if you wish to be part of this team, so everybody started asking, how can I become mentor with us? How can I become a consultant? I think you already know Thursday, I already told there's an opportunity. And we already sent an email. And if you like that one, you fill up that form. There's a form we send out to you. If you don't get it, ask my colleagues to type that form link to give you. You fill up that form. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. On a live, on the Zoom meeting, we will be meeting all the people who are wanted to join us as a trainers or mentors and consultants. So I'll speak to you that time in detail about this one. Okay. So now I think the time is up. Tomorrow we talk about website more. So I believe all of you got an idea about domain and domain business, and you would like to become a registrar. This amazing thing. You contact your mentor. I'm looking for some of you starting as become a registrar, because there is a huge potential for the domain business and hosting business and VPS business and SSL. And if you're a startup, if you're starting a new something, you want to have online presence, and it's an amazing thing. You just start with that, as I told you about. My youngest brother even supported the family even during his, because if you want to make money, it's a good money also can make it. But strategy is completely different, not an SEO based strategy, other strategy. Okay. So thank you so much, all of you, for the today. Tomorrow we directly go about the website and landing page and funnel and different kind of a website is available in the market, etc. And how you can dial up the business aspect, etc. We will do it just tomorrow, inshallah. Okay. And now, so tomorrow we will be talking about the website in detail, 2 o'clock as I city. And now we'll move to the Zoom and our mastermind chat group. I'm looking forward to see you there. Okay. Thank you so much. I believe all of you got a complete idea about the domain part. Thank you, sir. Okay.